Tell me, Troy, on the flip side, what are some of the mistakes that you see companies or organizations making when it comes to trying to, run and establish these sorts of programs?
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake is when providers, technology solutions and organizations are working together, it's not starting with what a shared understanding of success looks like. So diving really deeply into what is success going to look like with this program? What is an engagement level that is going to be successful? And what current programs are you doing and what are those engagement levels? Because often organisations will put a very high standard on engagement levels for wellbeing programs, and to communicate with those organisations, you have to go through their email system or their Facebook work or Yammer or whatever it may be. And if the open rate and engagement rates on normal communication is at a certain percentage, and you expect that to be 35% for wellbeing, it is just not going to happen. It's around having a really realistic idea of what success is, and then looking at it as a really big marketing package. So what we look at each month is a 30-day marketing package, so really marketing wellbeing and providing marketing packages to already overworked wellbeing managers and work health safety managers, and providing them with snippets to go into Yammer and Google Plus, Facebook work, also small videos they can use, meeting ideas, snippets that can go into newsletters, so that it really is hitting every single point where the employee will be to drive them back. Wellbeing is very much traditionally build it and they will come, but it doesn't work like that. So it's the biggest mistake is not putting support services around it to actually create that engagement. Doesn't matter how great the program is, if people don't know about it, it's not going to create any difference at all. So I think
it's interesting. I was just going to say that I think that it's like any sort of initiative in a business that it is that getting the message out to draw people in. Why is it important? What have you put behind it? And I think thinking of the end in mind and what success is, to know what people should expect, because I think half the time the teams don't understand what it is that they could access or how they could benefit with various programs as well.
And also looking what has succeeded. So often flu vaccinations, for example, are a high engagement piece within organisations, skin checks, etc., and actually building the ability to book into those appointments where the content, the wellbeing content is, the programs, etc. So it's engagement by stealth. Look for the bright spots of engagement with the organisation, and then teach them how to use other support areas is one of the big areas that we use. So look at those great engagement pieces throughout the organisation and then have it stack other support systems onto it.
So just make sure there's heaps of posters in the room when they go in for their flu shot, wellbeing, yoga sessions, breathing.
Exactly.
Guerrilla marketing.
We had an organisation that had a really low engagement point in one of their departments. And what it came down to is that the particular department didn't have access to desktops, didn't use their mobile devices during work very often. So we really looked at how we were going to re-engage. So we set up a lot of mindful chocolate eating with dietitians, so using face-to-face to engage with digital. And while they were doing their mindful chocolate eating session with the dietitians, taught them how to download the app and how all the great services that were in there. So it's really looking at what bright spots face-to-face you can use as well. To engage in that technology so you can actually scale the support.
Interesting. What does a mindful chocolate eating session entail?
It's really tough, Ben. You have to be able to eat the chocolate very slowly, and you have to experience the taste buds. It's not something that I do very well, but the dietitian taught us all very well to do that in that campaign.
Right. That sounds a bit like torture to me.
It was a bit like torture, but chocolate always gets people engaged, and a big spike uptake in the downloaded apps that month.
Definitely. No, I see how that would certainly pique the interest for sure. But yeah, I think that's a very interesting idea, and I think it's clearly for that sort of business, it's there's some other challenges there, but I think it's thinking, sometimes you get so caught up in thinking, like you say, build it and they will come, or that there's a one way to to achieve it. It's interesting. I'm trying to think about how I can apply that now for my guys, but stay tuned.
There's even though we're a technology company, it's really combining with a lot of face-to-face services as well, so that the technology becomes a support service, not the experience. And it's really about that experience we can build for the employees, and the teams of the face-to-face connection that really create the difference, and the managers and the wellbeing networks, and our technology is a support system to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as we go so digital, these days, COVID, but also pre-COVID as well, that it is easy to get overwhelmed, and there's just so much there that the idea of firing up the screen for some downtime or to learn something is less appealing than doing it sitting in a circle or whatever.